So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the new can and we're going to stick it in exactly the way it came out. And the way it came out was the circle was facing towards the circuitry, the square was facing towards the back, and that's what we're going to stick her in now, as that. We're going to stick it in, and look at that, it's a perfect fit, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend these tabs over so that it will stay in place. And let me tell you, these tabs are tough. I'm getting there. Okay, that one's in place. What I'll try to do is use my screwdriver. Okay, that one's in place. And that one is in place. Now, in order to make sure that you got a good ground again, you're going to have to resolder that tab. So, what I will do is I will take my trusty iron, and here I have some flux. I'll put a little flux on it, like so. And now, let me get some solder. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to solder this thing right. Make sure it doesn't move. Make sure it's right in the same spot where it was. And there you have it. Let her cool down. And that cap, I'm not going to touch it or move it until maybe for 2 minutes or so, because I don't want to cause any fracture or what have you on the capacitor. Now that the solder's cooled down on this one lead that was originally soldered to this chassis, I'm ready to put back the components that are on this capacitor. But before I do, I have to dress these wires up. So what I'm going to do is take my strippers and I'm going to strip these leads down and make them nice so that they go in there nice and clean, and I'm not going to have any problems with them. Kind of tough there, but okay. And let me get this white one with the blue tracer. Let me get this one done. Okay, that one's done. Now, all three of the wires have been cleaned and ready. So now the first thing I want to do is I want to put this resistor back in. But before I do, I want to test it to make sure that it's good. And it's supposed to be 100 ohms. So now we're going to check it with our meter here and make sure that she's not open and that it's good, because it'd be nothing more than a waste of time putting it back in. So I'm going to check this thing to see what it measures. And there she is, 98 ohms, close enough to 100. So she's going to go back in. Now, according to my diagram, it's connected in between the square and the half circle. So very simply, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this resistor back in over here like it originally was. I'm going to twist it around the lead there, and now also too going to that side was the white wire with the red tracer onto it. So now I'm going to put that also back in there, and I'm going to take and make a little loop onto it so that she will catch up in there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my soldering iron and I'm going to solder those two leads in, because that's the only two leads that go there, and that's it, and that'll be done. Okay, we got a good connection there. Nice flow. We're going to let that cool down for a minute or so. Don't want to fracture it. Okay, I'm going to dress that lead out nice. Now I'm going to take the other end of that resistor and I'm going to put it over there in the half semicircle. And I am also too going to take that lead and twist it around. Just got to get a grip onto it. Okay, now also too connected to that was the red wire and the capacitor. So this red wire is going to also go over here as well. So now we're going to take this red wire, we're going to see if we can run this wire up underneath here somehow, like it originally was, and there it goes. And then I'm going to see if I can get it into the hole, and there it is. It's in there. And it just came out. I'm just going to have to bend it the right way. And there it is. And let me too put a little bend on it so that it stays in the hole. Okay, now there was also a capacitor that was tied to it, and that capacitor was a 60 microfarad at 450 volts. Well, I have that capacitor right over here, and that was the ground side of it going over there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this capacitor. I'm also too going to make a little loop onto it, like so, and I'm going to put that in that hole with that red wire coming off the transformer and the resistor. Now that all of them are in there, I'm going to solder them because that's the only 3 wires that went in there. So now we're going to solder that and consider that as being done. Okay, nice clean job. Now, I just had a little piece of solder fall down here. I want to get that out of there so we don't have any shorts. That's something you don't want to have. I'll show you what to do at the very end when you're done with it. Now, there's also too another blue and white wire that went to the triangle, and the triangle was over here. So we're going to kind of stretch this wire a little bit, and we're going to go across there, and we're going to put that to the triangle on this electrolytic. Twist the lead around so it doesn't come off. That's bent around beautifully. And now what we're going to do is that's the only one there, so guess what? We're going to solder that one as well. We're going to take and solder that into place. Okay, let the solder dry. Kind of pull that wire out just a little bit. Give it some room. There we go.